We finally have real football to talk about. And as you can see from this screen, Christian McCaffrey going in motion, Trent Williams at left tackle. 49ers have their two best players on offense. But as you know, didn't have George Kittle for very long. Didn't have Juwan Jennings for an extended period of time. And there was a lot of chaos in this game. So let's talk about everything that happened. And we're not going to point the finger. We're just going to talk about exactly what happened. So on this is the very first drop back of the game, very first play from scrimmage for the 49ers. And you're wondering, you can see Ricky Pearsall in the slot here right next to McCaffrey. Why isn't Brock Purdy throwing it to Ricky Pearsall? Because he's wide open. But, I mean, that's just not how football works. Let's talk through exactly what Purdy saw in this drop back. So to me, I think from this end zone angle, you'll be able to see Purdy is thinking Kittle's going to be hot here. And George Kittle, tight end, you always throw into the blitz, right? You're going to replace the blitz. So as soon as this linebacker comes and shows that he's rushing the passer, like he recognizes that. He's looking directly at, like, hey, pull up. And a veteran, you would expect him to break off his route. It was a high-low concept if you want to. We can rewind it and see exactly what the route concept was, the original play. So Jennings is going to run a curl. McCaffrey has a choice, right? He can go in or out. Kittle's going to run like an in-breaking route. And then Pearsall is going to run a skinny post. So basically they're high-lowing the interior defenders, which linebacker it is. So, okay, great. However, as you can see, things change, right? Once the post snap happens, you have to be able to adjust. And I think that's actually one of Purdy's strong suits is adjusting on the fly. So he's looking at 48, this linebacker to our left, and instantly he wants to get rid of the ball. Okay? He sees Kittle's not going to adjust. So what does he do? Oh, shoot. I got to go to my flat. That's Kyle Juszczyk. And he's not on the ground right now. Oh, man. So, okay, my flat option is currently depleted. Now I just have to make do, make chicken salad out of chicken shit. And he's able to get a completion, just running for his life in the end zone on the first play from scrimmage to begin the season. And that is how the 49ers start their season off. I know Brock Purdy was thrilled to have this person back in the backfield. So a few plays later, they're going to come back to pretty much a similar concept where they get Pearsall running that deep, skinny post over the slot, and he is wide open. Why is he wide open? Well, the outside routes are holding the defenders, and it pretty much comes down to what is the linebacker going to do? The linebacker, he's being held by McCaffrey, and that's a no-brainer. And you can see, look at Brock's timing here. The timing's about as good as it gets. So as soon as the linebacker reacts to McCaffrey, like it's out. The ball is being thrown. He's not even looking back out of his break. Throw it to a spot. 26 yards. All right, so this throw to me is one of the more impressive throws of the game from Purdy. So the scheme is A1-2. So you get motion from 44, Kyle Juszczyk, going across the line of scrimmage. You're going to fake it to McCaffrey, right, to get everybody flowing that way. Only for Kittle, who's running the little over route right here, coming back the other way, and Juwan Jennings to the bottom of the screen, clearing out the side. So effectively, George Kittle, who to this day still believe, I know he's injured, still believe runs like a high 4.4, just to run away from a linebacker. That's really all it takes. The safety actually does a really good job of nailing it down, but this quarterback is going to give his players a chance to make a play, and I think that's one of the big reasons why the 49ers are willing to give Brock Purdy an extension this summer. So but here's the play. You got the motion, you got the fake toss, and then just throw it, right? Look at what's in his face right now. We'll get a better angle from the end zone camera. But I love that throw. I really, really like that throw. That's what I would qualify as a big boy throw. So we'll see from this angle. What if I told you this player allowed more pressures than, or I guess as many pressures as any other time he has in a 49ers uniform? No preseason for Trent Williams. I don't want to paint the picture that he had a bad game because, like, over the course of this game, I think he was beaten 3, maybe 4 times, but 3 outright wins by that guy, Boye Mafe. Whatever, right? Like, it happens. Still, to be able to throw this on time to a spot and give that player, like, look where the ball is. Like, this is wide open in the NFL. And I know, there are stats now that are like, average yards of separation. This is wide open in the NFL. Like, he has a step. And Purdy makes sure that nobody else can make a play on the ball. And in the NFL, guess what? You're going to get hit. So I really appreciate this throw. I think it's a great call. Get your best player involved down here. Get one of your best players involved, I should say. And again, just Purdy letting his guys make a play. And Kittle's not going to disappoint you. Okay, this time next week, this will be Kendrick Bourne. Right now, this is Russell Gage. He just did not get open at all game. There are 3 wide receivers on the field, but they were effectively playing with 2 wide receivers, and it really was just 1 wide receiver once Jennings couldn't lift his arm. So Purdy, again, like, one of his best traits to get as far outside of knowing the offense, understanding where the receivers are going to be, is this mobility right here. The freaking pump fake will forever work. How? To this day, how are people still falling for that? But again, gets inside the 5. Let's go back to Russell Gage here. In what world does he think he's open right now? So watch the slot top of the screen here. He's going to put his hands up after stumbling, and now he puts his hand up like, hey, throw it here. Brother, you are going to get hospitalized if he throws you the ball. This was never to throw it to him. This was to make you think that Purdy is throwing the ball, and then sure enough, he just runs right by you. Been doing the same thing. It feels like dating back to Iowa State, but again, good play by Purdy. Gage, just Kendrick Bourne, welcome back, because they need you, and we are going to see just a much more effective passing game, so Purdy doesn't have to only lock into Pearsall, I would assume. Anyway. Okay, so after 2nd and long, after a penalty, they were able to cut it down. Now it's 3rd and 5. And you can essentially call whatever you want to on 3rd and 5. You can even run it if you really want to. But look at the screen here. The field is wide open. But to the top, you have 1-on-1. And if he loses, you're just going to live with that, right? But he doesn't really lose 1-on-1. So ball is out on time. Let's watch exactly when the ball comes out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ball's out. Head's not around, is out in front of him, so the DB can't make a play. If you watch the safety, stumbles. Kittle just doesn't lose, though. So Kittle was placed on the IR today. He's going to miss at least a month, 4 games. It's Tampa Bay's a road game. That's week 6, probably the earliest he would come back. Who knows when he's going to come back. The point is missing the Cardinals, missing the Rams, so 2 divisional games, and just a red zone threat like this where there isn't a safety in the NFL who can guard him 1-on-1. So Shanahan's going to have his hands full to replace a player like that. I mean, maybe it's just force feed Christian McCaffrey even more. It'll be interesting to see how they pivot, but you saw just on that first drive alone how important, how critical, how just big of a mismatch Kittle is. Okay, so I think Seattle's defense, just in general, they're going to be a lot better unit than most people would assume, right? Heading into year 2 under Mike McDonald, they have essentially a D-line full of first-rounders. They have 2 quality cornerbacks, 2 pretty good linebackers. So all in all, they're going to be a good defense. But just speaking of up front, I was pretty disappointed with how the 49ers offensive line was. Next Gen Stats said Brock Purdy was pressured on over 58% of his dropbacks. That can't happen. And that was the most pressure he's had at any point since starting with the 49ers. Just can't happen, right? So here we go. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. And now he's what do I do? You can't step up because look, where are you going to throw it to? Who? If you just go back to the top, nobody's really open. Pearsall, it looks like that's the intended target, but he slips out of his break, so can't go there. And everybody else is just blanketed, so just not much he could do here. I do think there are plays throughout this game where Purdy could have helped his offensive line by either stepping up in the pocket, just resetting, right, without scrambling. And there were other times where he had to scramble. But I don't know. It was just really strange. I don't want to say the 49ers offensive line got their butt whipped, but it was closer to that than it being a stalemate. So there's nothing that Seattle does that's too complex here, right? They just run a simple stunt, simple twist, and the tackles don't pick it up. There's a weird narrative that Colt McKivitz had a good game. I don't think that he did. I thought the 49ers did a really good job of protecting him, whether it's chips with the running backs, tight ends. But here, this is what most one-on-one reps look for McKivitz. Like when he is one-on-one with somebody, he's more often than not right here. Like this is what he looks like as a pass protector. For whatever reason that's being glossed over. And I don't want to, poo-poo on him. He deserves his contract. He still is relatively on a good contract since he's a middle-of-the-pack tackle. But on the other side, same thing. This is Trent Williams. This is a Hall of Famer. So stunt, he rides him way too far and over. Rough one for Barch as well. And then now there's nobody to pick up Jaron Reed. And Trent's late to come. And now there's, again, nowhere for Brock to go. He does a good job of at least avoiding a sack, getting the ball out of bounds. But he takes a big lick, and that's just not what you want to see for your quarterback. So, yeah, there were way too many instances of plays like that happening for the 49ers offensive line. I was pretty disappointed in that unit in this game. Okay, so a couple plays later, another sack, or sorry, I shouldn't say another, but this time it is a sack. And this time, I would really just say it's a hat tip to Mike McDonald and Seattle. So this is just a good play call. There's not much Christian McCaffrey can do here, but it does suck for the 49ers because they have the perfect play call on. Shanahan knows he's going to get cover 2 to the bottom of the screen. That's exactly what happens. The corner sits, has the underneath route, and that leaves Kittle wide open to run the corner. Look, there's no way that safety would be able to make this play. This is just as open as it gets. So free shot play, but unfortunately, just Christian McCaffrey's in pretty much in between a rock and a hard place. Like he's not going to be able to abort the fake by now. If you want to talk about pass protection and how the 49ers really do their pass protection, again, like they are going to slide in a way where he just doesn't have many responsibilities. So he's going to stay in, he's going to get a chip, and then everybody else is going to be responsible. Ideally, it doesn't take as long and he's able to abort and get here to the safety Julian Love, but that is impossible for him to do. So again, they had a good play call on. Unfortunately, the Seahawks had a better play call on, and you move. In a perfect world, Purdy's able to throw it away, but it's just not going to happen there. So you pretty much go from 1st and 10 shot play, which is exactly what you want to do, and then you basically lost the drive here. So they end up punting and lose it, basically waste a drive. Just because Seattle had a better play call. That's football. It happens. Move on. Okay, the best quarterbacks in the NFL, they win before the snap. So here, again, one of Purdy's best plays of the game is identifying what is going to happen right now. So he's scanning the field right now, and right here, bottom of the screen, Devon Witherspoon is blitzing. You can see Juwan Jennings point, so he's aware. I don't know if he heard him, if he just kind of felt that, saw it out of his peripherals, but it's 3rd and 7. So this could be bad, but it doesn't matter. You see Purdy recognizes it right away. I think Christian McCaffrey does a good job. Just get in the way, right? Just make sure he doesn't bat it down. He doesn't. And here, so Jennings, you just have to make somebody miss, right? Make one person miss. That's it. First down. All of that happens, and the 49ers are able to pick up first down. So, again, win before the snap. Do the hard part before the ball is even snapped, and that's exactly what happens. You'll get a chance to see the end zone angle here. Get it out before any pressure comes. Doesn't really have to make a man miss, just run, right? And that's exactly what happens. So really good play there by Brock to recognize. Also good job by Jennings to call it out, point, communicate, right? That's what it's all about. So hat tip there. Okay, very next play. So when you're in between the 40s, that's what we call the shot zone in football. So that's when teams are going to try to take advantage and draw up an explosive play. The 49ers actually ran this same play against Seattle last year, but they just ran to George Kittle. As you can see, Kittle's not on the field. I think he might have hurt his hamstring, but I don't know if he's on. Yeah, he's not on the field right now. Okay, so here's how it goes. Motion Brian Robinson out, and that creates 3 wide receivers. In most modern defenses, whenever there's a 3-by-1 set, the backside cornerback is man-to-man. So that they know this, and Juwan Jennings is going to run a post. So he's basically going to clear out this side of the field. Okay, we have established that. Now you have Brian Robinson coming in motion, and they're going to fake the jet sweep toward him. So by doing that, you are going to hold this underneath defender because he has to be accountable for that play right there. Okay, now we've established that. And the last person in the backfield, Kyle Juszczyk, he's going to delay. So he's going to block, chip that. Remember, he's blocking down. So they're going to make sure that McKivitz does not have a lot on his plate. So Juszczyk is going to chip the defensive end. He's going to block him, and that way the pulling lineman. I believe that's Ben Barch. He's going to be responsible for him. So by delaying right here, they put the middle linebacker, the Mike, in a bind because he has no idea who to defend. So he sees Juszczyk going out on a route, but he also sees this in-breaker route right here. So he's just going to stay in his zone, stay underneath, and that leaves Juszczyk to run this rail route and be wide open. So just a really good scheme for a free 26 yards, 25, 26, whatever it was. Just can't ask for a better play call. Good execution. From this angle, you're going to see, okay, why doesn't the safety do anything, right? So the safety is late to get here. This safety right here, he's defending Jennings, but he's late to peel off that route. You'll see from this end zone angle that Purdy does a good job of holding it. He looks down the barrel, looks straight ahead for as long as he can. I don't know if I'm sure you practice this, whether it's, 2 ticks, 3 clicks, whatever it may be, but 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and then as close to 3 as possible. Purdy lets go. He can see the safety. He knows exactly what he's doing. Ball's on the money. Ball's where it needs to be. Chunk play. Okay, so when you drop those chunk plays, you got to punch it in once you get into the red zone, especially the low red zone. So this is 3rd down. Just threw an incompletion on 2nd down, and this is where the 49ers are really going to miss Kittle. So here we go. I believe it's just out routes. Yeah, so Jennings, he's locked up. Pearsall, he had a really good game, obviously. He had over 100 yards. But whenever he's guarded by Devon Witherspoon, not so much. And then that leaves us with good old Russell Gage here. It was painful to watch. Just watch him on this route. What? He can't even stay on his feet. So how are you supposed to even respect that again? I think Kendrick Bourne is going to make a world of difference. But one of these players, specifically, I would imagine Pearsall, who ended up getting open later on in the game, is going to really have to step it up in the red zone. They need to find somebody because they're not going to be able to settle for field goals against the better opponent. It's not just the Saints, and obviously down the line, as the season goes along, they'll have Ayuk back, but somebody's going to have to step up in the red zone. And here's some more pass protection, right? Listen, look at this, right? This is DeMarcus Lawrence. You are telling me the 49ers trust a backup tight end more than their right tackle. Look how they slide, right? Everybody's responsible for somebody except they're sliding away. So he's basically the backup and he's going to have the blitzer eventually, but he doesn't have to really do anything. And even when he does have to do something, look at this effort. I don't want to pick on him, but it was driving me nuts seeing that. He had a good game. I know his PFF grade was 80. He was only responsible for 1 pressure. Maybe that was it right there, but I wasn't impressed in the way that other people were seeing his name floated just after this game. But again, 3rd down, nobody doing anything, nobody getting open, Brock throwing fadeaways. It instills bad habits, and you're going to see it on this very next play. Okay, so after picking up a 1st down, 49ers, remember, between the 40s, that's when the best offensive callers want to take a shot. So I know they're on the 39-yard line here, but another tell that the 49ers are going to take a shot is the personnel. So you want to get as many bigs. That way you can just kind of get their bigs, right? Big on big personnel, and that way one of your skill guys can win. So 13, I know he's a fullback, but he's a tight end, let's be honest. Tight end. So 13 personnel. They're going to run a dagger concept. So I believe, so Juszczyk's going to go in motion, and then he's going to run off coverage. So it's going to be vertical route, tight end's going to run a vertical route, and then Jennings is going to run deep dig, which is just a dagger. So he's going to run deep dig, and Purdy, right now, the ball should be out. Based on everything that we've seen so far, if you remember the Pearsall 26-yarder early in the game, the ball would be out right now. Now. Back foot hit, now. Instead, waiting right here just gives this player enough time to work back into the flow of the action. And because of that, it's a little bit underthrown. Just takes too long. The play was long developing as it is, but it's a game of inches. It's a game of milliseconds. And the longer you wait, you're just giving them an opportunity to make a play. So if you just watch at full speed, again, ideally, this linebacker, they're blitzing, So because of that, Christian McCaffrey doesn't get to be out in his route, which would have held this defender. So good job of blitz pickup right there. McCaffrey does his job, but still, like, we've seen him make this throw. His feet are set. His feet are set. His feet are set. If he throws it now, he has no chance to get there. The ball's probably closer to here. But the longer he waits, see the linebacker's able to drift 2-3 yards, and now is just able to make the play. So again, it wasn't. I really don't think it was a bad decision. I think it was more of a timing issue than anything. Like, that route was open. Purdy was looking at the right spot. Like, his eyes went to the right spot. The line did what they were supposed to. Look at that blitz pickup by McCaffrey, which, I mean, not the greatest, right? If you look at it from this angle. But that's enough. Like, that's enough for Purdy to get the throw off. And it's just a little bit underthrown. So INT, waste field position, another opportunity to add points on the board, but a no-go. So I would turnover. All right, this is 3rd and 2. We're going to get to the 4th and 2, which they convert, but I cannot leave it. I cannot not show you this. Okay, 3rd and 2. Why in the world are you not running behind your best player? I understand that, hey, it might be you're on the short side of the field. It might be too predictable, but who would you rather lose with, right? Him or any one of them? So watch how this plays out. If we just watch Dominic Puny, not blocking anybody. Okay. Right next to him, Cole McKivitz. How does he fare? Nope. He pushes somebody, and now he's on the ground. Okay. Next to him, we have the trio. So there's Kyle Juszczyk, and then we have Luke Farrell, and we have Jake Tonjes. So you end up, your 3rd and 2 run call ends up coming down to whether Kyle Juszczyk can block DeMarcus Lawrence, who was a freaking demon in this game. Let's see how that works. As you can see, it does not. So McCaffrey has 0 shot, 0 chance. This play was doomed from the start just based on the matchups, and you get blue jerseys in the backfield and everybody else just looking back on the ground, wondering what happened. Why not just go to your best player? And if it doesn't work, what the hell? You can figure out something else. Maybe it's 3rd and 1, right? Maybe it's 4th and 1. Maybe it's 4th and inches and you can sneak, but instead you cannot. Thankfully, wisen up, right? Smarten up. Okay, let's throw the ball now. Let's let our quarterback, who we just signed to a big extension, get us in the right spot. Go to the right spot, and he sure does. So really good job here, actually, by the 49ers to hold up, to give him time, because it is I believe it's like a 5-step drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so he looks right. Nobody's open. Once again, just another player on the ground. Who is that? All right, that's 88. The hero, I believe. Dick Tonjes falls, scans the field, puts the ball in. Oh, no, that's Farrell. Farrell with the reception. Tonjes was the one who fell at the top of the screen. You can watch Purdy's eyes here. He doesn't panic. All right, 4th and 2. He's not. I like the fact that, okay, my first read on this right side is not open. I'm not going to drop my eyes and scramble. I'm going to give the other side a chance too. Because that's how you play quarterback. He's not looking to scramble, even though it looks like it's wide open. He could. No, like, let them do it. Great pass, on time. And he had a little oomph to that throw too, right? Fires it. And that's what a playmaker should do. Like, that's what they need him to do, especially if they're going to be shorthanded. So really good job by Purdy to pick up the offense after just that 3rd and 2 call was just not good at all. All right, before we get to another 3rd and 2 call that was not good at all, I think we need to highlight just how impactful this player is. So McCaffrey in the passing game, he's probably going to have to catch 100 balls this season. But I thought Shanahan did a really good job of just finding creative ways to get him the pass. As you can see, Pooney's like hitting his helmet because he missed a block. Again, it was a rough one for him, for Barch. I think you could say, I don't want to put Trent in that category, but essentially everybody but Jake Brindle missed multiple blocks. And when I say multiple, 3 to 4 blocks. So that play was dead in the water. It should be dead in the water. He should not have picked up the yardage that he did. But again, McCaffrey is he knows how to play football. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, he had so many passes, or he caught enough passes where it seemed like he would pick up 2 to 3 yards and he ends up getting 6 and 7. So here's 3rd and 2 now. And what are you going to do? What? A 3rd and 2? Not even a back shoulder, just like an outright fade to Juwan Jennings? When? Like, when have they ever ran this before? And I know that wasn't the play. If you look to the bottom of the screen, it looks like a stick concept, which just is the receiver to the bottom of the screen. That is MVS. He's going to run off. Ricky Pearsall runs a quick out, and then the next guy runs like a stick concept, which is either curls up or he runs an out too, depending on the leverage from this player. So Purdy reads the screen, right? Reads the field. Like, he sees like where the advantages are. Like, he understands that there's no underneath defender. There's no any defender outside of here. So maybe that's why he gives him a chance. Again, like, if at this point, and I know he just threw him the ball, like, I'm just locked in on 23. And if I lose him, like, if I lose because he doesn't make a play, so be it, right? Man, like, I would have a hard time not throwing it to McCaffrey every time, because that's free 2 yards. I mean, he showed that he's a free 7, 8, 9 yards whenever he touches the ball. I did not understand this decision to throw here. Again, it could have been the play call, because like Pearsall would have been the other route, but he was covered pretty well. And now instead you have to rely on your special teams unit, and we know how that went. So a blocked field goal when really just a waste of a 3rd and 2 call. Okay, so the 49ers got some mild good news that Juwan Jennings isn't expected to be out like an extended period of time. Kyle Shanahan said that he could play this Sunday. Here's the play where he got hurt. So Jennings he's to the bottom of the screen here. He's going to take an inside release, and then right here he's going to get shoulder checked by Seattle safety Julian Love, and like direct hit, like a direct hit to the shoulder. I saw people saying, like, it can't be that bad. No. Like, that hurts. And you can tell, like, he's just writhing in pain right now. That really hurts. Obviously, the throw wasn't great. Pearsall was wide open. Pearsall, against any non-Devon Witherspoon player, looked like a world beater. So these are the plays. I mean, there's no real explanation for Purdy missing this throw. Clean pocket, has all day. He knew he missed it right away. You can see Pearsall after his reaction afterward. Like, that was a really good route. It's a tough route to defend too. So it's a blaze out, long developing play. You're gonna act like you're going in, only to break out at the last minute. And Pearsall has like that kind of quickness to get away with it. Ooh, that's a big one. He wants that back. I know that. But I mean, the point of showing that was just a cheap shot on Juwan Jennings. They were able to get the illegal contact, so I guess it didn't hurt too much. But those are the throws that Purdy needs to hit. All right, very next play. Run left. Look at that. All right, there's Trent. Little Hamilton snatch action right here. Takes out the linebacker. Like, why? Like, why in the world, in high leverage situations, are you not running behind this player? Look at that. Good night. Sealed. Honestly, you should probably, Christian did a good job of cutting it up and just running to daylight. Kind of a weird angle here, weird path by 44, but I guess there wasn't anybody to block initially. But again, like, look, 13-yard gain running behind Trent Williams. Who knew? All right, a couple plays later, this is pretty sick. So looks like it's a too high shell, but eventually they're going to rotate and spin, and it's just man coverage to the top of the screen. So I love this is the quarterback. You just throw away from rotation, right? You recognize the safety rotation. Okay, he's coming down. I know that I have my guy one-on-one. I don't remember at any point, whether it was Emmanuel Sanders, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel in his prime, throwing a deep corner route like this to any receiver. And I mean, that was a dot. That was a perfect pass. Pearsall gets a step on him. Nice little head fake too. Gets a grab, throws a flag. That's pretty pass right there. That is a nice pitch and catch. Again, like I don't remember them throwing that kind of route. Line holds up long enough. Again, like this, Ben Barch was fighting for his life in this one. So I believe that's Murphy, first rounder. Yeah, that's a really good pass. Again, Pearsall is going to be the real deal. Witherspoon is a very good player, but to see him run away and to shake free from Woolen, who is also actually a pretty underrated cornerback, should be encouraging for the 49ers. Let's play another run right or run left. What are you going to do? So this time they're running duo, so you get doubles on both defensive tackles. Double team. Again, why not do this as opposed to run right for negative whatever? But I mean, the movement here, you get Barch and Brindle. Watch what they do to Murphy. Like, he is on a sled machine right there. Like, he's on skates. You get a good backside double team with Pooney and McKivitz on Jaron Reed. So just like, you can go here, you can go here. Would have liked to see Robinson put his foot in the ground and just stay north and south right here. Just get as much as you can instead of cutting back right there. I know, like, there's that guy here, but he's off his feet. He's diving at you. Stay the path. Probably would have got a little more yardage, but I want to show the offensive line and what it looks like to run left. Quit messing around and run behind your best players. Okay, it is 4th and 2. They just had a 3rd and 2. And guess what? They ran right. And guess what happened? They gained no yards. It doesn't make sense to me. You know what's going to happen. Okay, anyway, 4th and 2. Who are they going to go with? Let's watch this play itself out. Look at who's on the field right now, by the way. So you have MVS to the bottom of the screen. Or sorry, that's 14. That is Russell Gage as your outside receiver. I believe this is MVS in the slot, and then Ricky Pearsall and Jake Tonjes, who, again, like, he made the play. Or no, that's Farrell. All right, it has to be McCaffrey, right? So empty, which I love, right? Like, empty makes the defense declare. It puts one of your best players in a one-on-one matchup. And sure enough, Purdy recognized it. Like, it's with the safety at depth, he's bound to be open. The only way this doesn't work is if he sits here in a cloud, is underneath. But McCaffrey's just going to run a quick flat route to the out. Get it out, wide open, easy pitch and catch. Just make sure it's out in front of him. That way he doesn't have risk of dropping it. And they're able to move the chains, move the sticks. So, again, like, if that's what you want to do on 3rd and 2, just give, again, if you want to give it to McCaffrey, let him go out in space and make somebody defend him. But good protection, easy pitch and catch. I like the scheme. I like the idea of emptying the backfield, and 49ers are able to stay on the field. Okay, 2nd down here. Bottom of the screen. Pearsall is going to go in motion. He's going to come back, and the ball needs to be out, because he is open. And because it's not out on time, that gives a cornerback who runs a 4-2 enough time to catch up. And this is just like a floater, right? This is like underhand, slow pitch softball when it needs to be a fastball. And we've seen him on the 4th and 2 when he scanned the field, come back from one side to the other. Like, he can throw fastballs. So I don't know what takes so long. And even the out route to George Kittle, the ball was on time. The ball was out on time. So now it should be out. It's not. And it's really not that far of a throw. Like, sure, it's on, like, technically, it's in the middle of the field. So I don't know. Just feel like this should be an easy pitch and catch because we've seen it so many times, regardless of who it is, whether it's Brandon Ayuk, whether it's George Kittle, that this is a throw that Purdy needs to make, especially if the 49ers are going to reach their ceiling, especially if they're going to need Pearsall to get open in the red zone, because he was as open as you can get. Everything held up, just couldn't get the timing down. So on the very next play, they're going to do it again. And instead of it being a touchdown, this time you're going to see, I forgot. Right tackle? Let's fast forward here. I believe so it's 3rd down, and now Pearsall just slips. So going to come back to Pearsall and slips. So as you can see, Purdy wants to go because he's open again. That's what he does. He gets open. So if you watch the bottom of the screen, Purdy has his eyes on him. Eyes, wants to go there. There's a slippage. There's somebody in his face. So he just has to throw it out of bounds. Tough sequence because the touchdown was there. They could have scored. I would say not could have. They should have scored here. But instead, the slippage, I think it's Ben Barch here who gets beaten. Yep, DeMarcus Lawrence. Man, again, like he was a monster in this game for essentially anybody he went against. And it's going to be a tough block for anybody. I think, again, another example of like how the 49ers feel about their pass protectors here, right? You have Colton McKivitz, the right tackle. He's getting help from a tight end and blocking nobody. Everybody else has a man, and Barch ends up, I don't want to say costing him a touchdown, but the combination of that and Pearsall slipping means you have to settle for 3. All right, 2nd and 13, just got up the ball back. Defense got to stop. And what a decision there. So this is one you just have to eat, right? This is one where like this ball was going to Pearsall, regardless of what Seattle showed, regardless of how many defenders were on him. So this is one where, like, I don't know if it's putting the cape on when you don't have to. Like, he's not looking at anybody else here. This is really good coverage. So, like, whenever this player is undercut, you can't make that throw. Throw it anywhere. Throw it out of bounds. Throw it over his head. Maybe throw it to him, right? Maybe he gets 6 yards underneath here. But you have to be able to live to fight for another day. But making this throw, nah, I can't do that. Can't do that. Again, this is where the maturation of Purdy is going to have to happen pretty quickly. He doesn't have to put on a cape. He doesn't have to be a hero every time he drops back. I think Shanahan's scheme is that good. He gets protection here. That's not the issue. But, I mean, the throw, like 1, 2, 3, 4. In a dream world, he breaks this pass up, but you're not thinking that as a wide receiver. You're thinking, I'm going to come down with this. Like, best case scenario, he plays DB and rips his arms apart or just throws him down and you get OPI and you're able to punt and flip the field. But giving Seattle the ball back in midfield, just can't do that. Not in the fourth quarter. And they're pretty fortunate to come away with a victory after a fourth quarter turnover with, look at that, 3:19 left. And now they finally get the ball. Thankfully, because Renardo Green did a thing. All right, this is just Shanahan being Shanahan. This is a Shanahan special right here. So he knows if I put this player in motion, sorry, he actually already went in motion. So they go from 3-by-1 to 2-by-2. If I put this player in motion, Seattle is going to rotate their safeties. And now I get Ricky Pearsall. When I say rotate the safeties, he's going to come down. He's going to go to the middle. And that means it's 1-on-1. And you are going to take that matchup based on how this game has gone all day long. If it's not Witherspoon, Pearsall is going to win. That's how it's been for 4 quarters. So they're going to little pump. I like this by Pearsall. So first of all, it's Purdy knows where he's going the entire time. But I like this by Pearsall. After the stutter, there's a stutter, breaks down, really sells it. I like how he, man, when you really sit down in your route like this, the corner has no choice. So like he's really sitting down. He even glances back to make it seem like he's coming back. But I like when he's coming back to avoid, instead of like just some wide receivers will try to run through him. Don't do that. There's no reason to do that. So he like avoids, is able to find the ball. Woolen is lost. As good of a route as you can expect from Pearsall there. Just all around from speed, sitting down in his route before the stutter, after the stutter, avoiding contact. Purdy does a good job of putting it out in front so Pearsall can run underneath. Woolen looks like he just has no idea where the ball is. So offense is cooking, has a chance to put some points on the board. So really, again, I couldn't ask for a better route than that. And now it's just about getting close enough to get into field goal range. But I mean, you shouldn't be thinking field goal right here. You're like a cat with 9 lives at this point, right? The fact that you're even here feels pretty beneficial. So you have to make Seattle pay after they kicked a field goal on 4th and 1, which was, that would have had me hot. But again, here's Pearsall just scanning the field again. It's difficult to describe like the player Purdy is, because to me, like, he is a gunslinger. I have no idea what people talk about when they call him a check down Charlie. It could be further from the truth. He wants the big play. He legitimately hunts the big play. But there's also times where he's very measured. And I think we saw that on the game-winning drive where he's going to be under control. He's going to scan the field like he does here. Look, he wants to go to McCaffrey. Okay, not there, not of his break. They have 2 players on McCaffrey because why wouldn't you? I'm going to go to my next read. I'm not going to panic. I'm not going to drop my eyes. I'm not looking to scramble. I'm looking to get the ball into my playmaker's hands. And in this case, George Kittle's replacement, Jake Tongas. Look, if that's George Kittle, he stays on his feet and he probably scores. It is not. So you're going to take what you can get, stay on the field, keep it moving. So, there was a lot of good from Purdy here just in this drive alone. It helps to have the offensive line to protect you. I know he got hit right there as I say that, but Trent Williams just lost his footing. Ton just lost his footing. So, again, it was an impressive drive by Purdy. So you're going to live with, the mistakes. I don't think he's going to be throwing into quadruple coverage for many times for the rest of the season. So, those are the ones that you can just chalk up, right? It happened, whatever, move. Your defense was good enough to pick them up. The first interception, hey, just get rid of it sooner. Ideally, the next time you call a shot play, you don't run into a blitz, right? So, there are a lot of things where you can understand why they happen. And then here, come on, McCaffrey until it's not. So just keep inching closer and closer and closer. And that's now you go from, okay, let's tie this up and let's play to overtime to, whoa, we're in the low red zone. Now we're inside the 5 and I'm going to try to score. A lot of people were pretty upset with Purdy on this throw. 3rd and 3, game on the line. You got to understand who he is, man. If you didn't think he was trying to score a touchdown here, you have never watched him play. He was not going to throw the ball out of bounds because that is not who he is. So as soon as he scrambled right here, he was going for the juggernaut. He's going for the jugular. Here we go. He scrambles, throws it up. Is it dangerous? Of course it's dangerous. That's who he is. That's who this player is. That's who he's always going to be. He's going to give his guy a chance to play. This is probably an incompletion, right? I don't think it was a pick. I see some people saying that he was lucky, he was fortunate. I really didn't come away thinking like that. If anything, the offense has the advantage because they know where the routes are, they know where the ball's going. They're looking at the quarterback. It's just a great play by Tongas. And that's how the 49ers win the game. Just a wild one for the first game. So many ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the roller coaster. 49ers, they're going to have their hands cut out over the next couple weeks, even with Kendrick Bourne back, even if Juwan Jennings doesn't miss time. But you have a really good play caller, you have a quality quarterback, and the way that Ricky Pearsall looked with Christian McCaffrey in the fold, I don't see them struggling. They had 384 yards. They had 4 or 5 explosive plays. The run game isn't going to be as bad as it was, or I guess I should say as inefficient as it was, because they're not going to be facing Seattle's defensive line for the next 4 weeks. So they're going to make changes. They're going to adjust. They always do. But thanks for watching, everybody. That's my breakdown of the 49ers passing offense week 1 against Seattle. If this is your first time, please subscribe, like this, comment. I'm going to be back with the defense next.